Welcome back. We're joined again by Scott Amberley. You remember Scott from our initial series. Scott's with Legal Essentials. Hi Scott, thank you for joining us again.
Hey Gary, good.
Okay, now we're doing a brief look at Fred and John's estate planning.
Yes.
Who would you like to start with?
Well, who's probably the easiest? I think probably John's the easiest.
John's the easiest? Okay, let's start with John then.
Well, from what I'm reading with John, there's probably no issues at all. Actually, he could have children. He could have had children that he isn't aware of.
He plays the field, doesn't he?
So yes. So if he dies now and one of those children stick their hand up, they'll be a dependent on the estate. Other than that, it doesn't look like there's much. Well, there's some wealth there, but it keeps going backwards. So if he lives for another 10 years, there won't be anything at all.
Oh, unless he pulls his horns in and starts behaving.
What, like get married?
No, financial responsibility.
If he pulls his financial responsibility in, then he could have life insurance and superannuation, and that will be looking for a dependent or his estate to pay into. And since there's no will, there's no way to see who actually that's going to go to. So it'll be the laws of intestacy for whatever state he's in. In Victoria, it'll decide under Victorian law where it goes, who it goes to, and what he deems is important. You know, he might not have a relationship with his parents, but they'll get it.
Okay, so here are some issues that you managed to tease out. One, he plays the field. We don't know whether the field he plays is married or unmarried. Therefore, sometime in the future, a child that might appear to be in a relationship might want to claim on his estate.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Given that he plays the field, there might be multiple numbers of these potential claimees. We don't know whether he's got brothers or sisters. The other point you raised, which is quite valid, is he's an employee, he's earning 400,000 a year, and his employer would superannuate him.
Yeah, and life insurance.
So he'd have very likely life insurance within his super.
Yep.
So even though he looks like a basket case, there might be 1 or 2 mils worth of estate coming if he was to die by life insurance and super.
Well, 9% of his income's going into super, so we do know that there is super there.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's probably a significant amount. And if you talked about life insurance, then there's quite a lot. There could be quite a lot of potential life insurance in the superannuation again.
So he looks simple, but he's not, is he?
No. And it would be an absolute disaster and a complete mess for somebody to have to clean up. When there's no will, all you're doing is shifting responsibility to somebody else, saying, oh, well, I refuse to take responsibility for my estate, but somebody still has to, at some point in time, take responsibility for what you're dodging.
Okay, we've found all sorts of triggers to say that John needs to have run an estate plan. Let's say John presented with all the problems that we've discussed. Let's say he's got heaps of life insurance, super. Let's say he's got maybe a potential couple of offsprings, and maybe his brother and his parents don't speak to him, but both might claim. You know, what would you advise?
I'd advise him to actually work out where he wants, what's important to him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the significant question. What is important to you? Your dog is important to you. You want it all to go to the Lost Dogs Home or some other, RSPCA or something else to take care of your animals. So then, there's a lot of people out there with fur kids that are just as important as people.
So really what you're saying is that we don't really know, but he does need an estate plan.
He does need an estate plan.
He needs to nominate someone to execute his estate.
That's correct, yeah. And whether that's professional, as in somebody from the law or estate trustees or the estate trustees for wherever his estate is in, then somebody needs to do that, and somebody will. And then it depends on the fees and charges from that.
Yes, that's right. I guess if you're dead, you don't care, but...
well, depending on how much you actually want the money to go to who you think is important, and that's what it's all about.
We suspect John doesn't think though, don't we?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let's deal with Fred. Fred's a little bit deeper as a character, isn't he? What sort of problems is he facing?
How steady's the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Is she going to be married? How serious are they? Is it a dependent relationship? Is it a de facto relationship? Again, does he want his steady girlfriend to get everything or not? Could they be planning children together? There's lots of questions in there and he's worth it seems to be worth on paper a heck of a lot more.
Okay, well let's deal with some of those issues you've teased out. Let's say that Fred gets on well with his brother, because he's given his nephew a car.
Yep.
Let's say he gets on well with his parents. Let's say that his girlfriend, who has her own unit, has been staying over most weekends for the last couple of years.
Yep.
And let's say he dies without a will. What sort of mess have we got there?
We've got a mess between the parents and brother and the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them will put their hand up to be the letters of administration, which is the application you make when somebody dies without a will.
Yep.
And it'll be one or the other. So the laws of intestacy for the state will decide where the money goes to, and who the beneficiaries are for that.
In Fred's case, let's call him a loving sort of bloke. He likes his mum and dad, clearly likes his brother, clearly likes his girlfriend. He probably would like them all to be looked after, but the way it's going, if his girlfriend was able to prove cohabitation,
She gets a lot.
she gets the lot. If his parents are able to prove no cohabitation,
They get the lot.
and in any case his brother gets nothing.
Yeah. And really, probably, if he did a will, he actually may make his brother the executor.
Yes.
To go, brother, I'm leaving you the responsibility of sorting it out between my girlfriend and my parents. And he may actually be the best person to do that.
Well, in the examples we've given of Fred, he cares for his nephew because he's given him a car, and he cares for his girlfriend because they get pizza together. So really the two people, he's setting them against each other, isn't he, and his parents?
Yeah, what tends to happen is people are grieving for your loss. So when you're not here, they're angry with you because that's one of the first stages of grief. They're angry. How dare they die? I needed to say this. I didn't get to say this. Things that I meant to say, apologise for, just didn't happen. And they're angry. And then you throw a pot of cash in the middle of that.
Yep.
And people will say things they don't mean. People will do things they don't really, in all other manner, they wouldn't have done. And then
live with that for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and we hear multiple stories
with their siblings.
Yeah, yep. Multiple stories where people, well, the whole family split up and everybody's broken up. Everyone is unhappy, purely because there wasn't adequate estate planning done, or nobody, I did the will, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, terrible, isn't it? Now, in this case, Fred and John are excellent examples for estate planning. Somebody who's married with a family, it's really much clearer. You could die intestate, and probably your estate might be distributed the way you'd want it to have happen.
Yeah, it may take longer though.
Yes, that's right.
And this is the thing that people may not understand with, oh yeah, I'm married, it's all going to go to my wife or it's all going to go to my husband. It will, eventually. It may just take longer, and I can tell you lawyers will charge for their time of getting your estate through the hoops that needs to jump through. And with a valid, solid estate plan and a will, those hoops are very quickly and very easily achieved, and the fees come down remarkably.
Yeah, one of my unstated goals of an estate plan is to administer the estate fairly and cheaply.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that can be done when you've got a good estate plan.
Yeah.
Prepaid funerals and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay, look, Scott, thank you very much. We've teased some good stuff out of Fred and John. I keep saying they're figments of my imagination, but they're very good figments because we've been able to build on a number of problems that might present in relation to an estate plan. So thank you once again for your help.
Not a problem, Kerry. Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us, and we are off on a break. And after the break, Tracy is there to help us with the reverse interview. We'll see you after the break.